Hello and welcome back to another Cauldron Craft devlog. It's been a while, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update on how the game is going. First and foremost, I got the Steam page up, so that's a huge deal. You guys can check it out, take a look. The link will be down in the description below. And if you like it, maybe give it a wish list or so. But yeah, I'm super happy that I was able to push through. I was able to figure out all the stuff that Steam requires for you to get your store presence up. I made the trailer video. It's not amazing, I think, but it is good enough at this point just for me to have something there. It gives me a little guide as to what needs to get upgraded next. For example, the trailer's missing a lot of music, so I need to work on that. Back to the game though, there's a lot of little things that I added. So one cool thing is this developer panel. This is a new addition, and while it does look a little simple, it gives me a lot of functionality so that I can add items, add a specific item, give myself gold, skip cutscenes, reset energy. So basically it allows me to progress through the game without having to actually go and look for these things, you know? And so I can spend my time properly finding bugs and playtesting where exactly I need to. And some of the cool things or some of the other features in this developer panel, I've made it so I can easily change times, I can pause, unpause, and for the quests I can just receive all the items that I need right then and there. A little bit of a visual update right here, just the tree, half of the well, but I feel like it's a lot better. And then for the shopkeeper area, I haven't completely finished this, but I gave the shopkeeper just a little bit more TLC. I detailed out the sword just a little bit more, but the background is still very simple. The shop now has a bunch of recipes, which is super neat. I'm super glad this feature is finally in the game so that you can spend your gold to buy some of these things, and these will help guide you on how to make some of these recipes, because as a lot of players have said, making recipes or making crafted items are super difficult because you just don't know. It's like you're playing the lottery. You put random items in and you just never know when you're going to get a hit. And so that's going to make things a lot easier. And for selling, let's use our developer panel to give ourselves a bunch of items. And so it'll kind of show up just like the chest inventory, and you can kind of sell them, get some random amount of gold right now. And it doesn't give you a lot of feedback, so I need to work on that. But the fact that some of the items have more rarity, which will give you more gold, and then you can use that gold to buy a recipe, is a big deal for me. So that's a huge update. And finally, there's the eating feature, which doesn't do anything. Some upgrades to the bed. Just a little asset upgrade so that it looks a little nicer. And then when you hit it, it gives you a slightly nicer looking screen. And I changed the button so that it does look a little nicer. Hit that, and then it becomes a new day. This screen might be new to some of you guys. This was one of the screens that I really didn't work on for a super long time. It was just a placeholder, really, because there were so many other things that needed to get worked on. So I just kept pushing this off, and even though this isn't in its complete and final state, it still looks a lot better than what it was before, so I'm happy about that. We've got a recipe page now. Whoopie-doo. Let's see, we can't really use anything here, right? But I can show you. Well, this is another one. So if you and I, we figured out how to get this text dialogue thing working so that it kind of shows one letter at a time really quick, you know? So that's really cool, and that took a lot of time as well, so that's a nice little feature. But I was saying, yeah, the recipe screen. So if we have a turnip and we craft it, then it should show up inside our recipes now. Right here. And so when you click it, it'll show you what the recipe requirements are. So just like in the shop, if you buy a recipe, it'll now show up right here. But if you craft an item, it also shows up here. So it's just a lot more work really getting done. And finally, the forest area has been touched up a little bit. The trees have proper Y sorting and they have collision. So now you can collide with the trees and you won't have that weird thing going on anymore. And also, the rest of the map has some collision as well. You can no longer walk out of bounds. The water as well, if you guys saw the collision tutorial with the tile maps. Some slight extra tooltips that we didn't have before. One for the energy, one for when the time changes. This is a slight little thing. So you know how it goes back to the first page, but before it would stay on whatever page you were on. So now it resets properly back to 1. Just a lot of little updates here and there. And finally, the big hurrah is, wait for it, it's these trees right here. I think one big thing about the game that's quite annoying to me is that this part of the game, discovering, gathering items, is the least interactive out of the rest of the game. So I've been wanting to work on this area, and I think this is the first step so that we can have a more active experience. And so what you're seeing right here is trees getting generated on the right side of the map, and then they get tweened towards the left side. And so what the player is going to do is, right now, the player is doing nothing, right? But I'm thinking we're going to take it step by step, and first we're going to click the trees to maybe interact with it. And then once we figure out how we want, sorry, the player just clipped through the tree. Once we figure out how we want the rewards to be given, or what kind of rewards, or if there's like some kind of trading that needs to happen, such as like, hey, I need to give some items so that I can actually take the tree down. I need to figure it out. So yeah, I think this is the first step, and just seeing new things on this screen already makes it feel a lot better, even though it's not any bit more active than it was before. The goal is to definitely move around in this screen, and so to work towards that is what we need to do. And I don't want to keep rambling for too long, but the Skelly video is coming. It's been taking me a little bit of time for me to finish working through all the assets, but I've made a little bit of progress, and so I think I'm at a point where I can start working on that video. I know you guys have been waiting for a bit. It's coming soon. And as always, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.